Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to our first co-living conversion. This is an opportunity to take a house with a lot of extra square footage and turn it into a safe, clean, affordable place for people to live. So we want to share it with you and have some conversations over and around co-living as an investment strategy for real estate investors and for people that maybe own a home that they would like to see turned into a profitable stream of cash flow.
Awesome. What does this look like?
All right, so we always leave a living space, a common space for people to gather. So this space will have some chairs in it and some games and an opportunity for people to gather. We will on occasion also provide like Friday night pizza. So we want to encourage community in these spaces. People are renting the bedroom. Their bedroom is their private space. They get to go in there, and oftentimes they do spend a lot of their time in there. But one of the keys to co-living harmony is to have people be able to have some sort of relationship. And so we encourage that through Friday night pizza nights, through game nights, gatherings, things like that. So we leave this space here. This is also necessary for lending purposes. So our lenders who do a debt service coverage lending, DSC, asset-based lending, this needs to be a single family home. There are reasons for that, but we keep this so that our lenders are also happy with the property itself. So we do have a space here that we have created this space so that it can be a bedroom or an office. So depending on how we want to utilize this space, we can do both. We want at least 100 square feet. I prefer to be closer to 120, give people some elbow room. We'll put a full-size bed in here, a desk and a chair, and either a dresser or a place to hang clothing. Every room has a window. It has to legally have two forms of egress, but we like to have a window wherever humanly possible, because we believe in people living in these spaces. We want them to be comfortable. We want them to feel like it's a nice place for them to be. So we've also chosen colors in that regard as well. So we've chosen a white, but not so bright that it's a harsh white. And we've chosen this green, and this green is purposeful. It is a calming, peaceful color. It's easy to maintain. And also, it helps us bring the outside in. And we'll show that in one of the other rooms as we go through.
Yep.
So as we continue, you can see we're in renovations on this space. So this house, we had to do a lot. This entire house is being impacted in every single room positively. Again, we want safe, clean, affordable spaces. We want pretty places for people to be. We want it to be comfortable and nice. So we will have standard kitchen layout here with the corner kitchen, the stove, the refrigerator, etc. We also put some pantries on this wall that my husband actually builds these pantries specifically so that each person has their own space for their own food.
That's important.
Yeah, we want people to have a place for their own food. Now the refrigerators are pretty basic refrigerators, but they each have their own shelf, so they have a place to put their own food. In this particular house, we have some nice spaces with lots of windows. And this helps people, again, feel like they are in a beautiful, clean, open space.
I love that, being able to see the trees through the windows.
Yeah, so the dark trim really helps do that, because when you have the white trim against the green trees, you have a conflict in your eyes between those two colors. When we frame the green, it's like it draws the trees in, so you feel a bit more like you're in nature.
How great.
Yeah.
And that's such a simple change.
It is. So back here, got lots of construction stuff around. This is another nice big open bedroom. With this one, will have a really nice closet to it. Again, a couple of windows. This one is a little bigger than some of the standard ones, and every house is designed a little bit differently by its floor plan and layout. But again, we're going for 120 minimum square feet where we can. Legal minimum is 80. We think that's too small.
Yeah, we want them to actually be able to live in this space and not feel like they're like,
yeah,
confined to it.
And some people talk about co-living turnover as a problem.
Yep.
And I think that turnover in part is driven by people not being comfortable in the space they're in. So if their room is too small, they may feel like this doesn't belong to them.
So this is your same like kitchen area that we're walking through here, right?
Yes, this is the kitchen.
And you chose this same color like as an accent wall?
Well, this is our color. This is the color we chose for the company. It's kind of like a branding thing for the co-living houses that we're going to have. This is our favorite green. It's a very calming color.
Yes.
It's relaxing. It's inviting. It goes with lots of different things. So we can change the artwork, and it's easy to do that with artwork. We can go a little more modern or a little more classical. This house being older, we went classical. So we're doing colonial trim and 6-panel doors, a bit more classic look. Some houses, if you know they're built certain ways, or when we do new construction, we can take this same green and make it more modern, just with different finish choices and things like that.
That's fantastic. It's not too masculine. It's not too feminine.
Yeah, yeah. So this bathroom is in renovation, as you can see. Nice big walk-in shower. We're doing tiled showers. Again, we like this to be a nice place for people to live. So this will be a nice shower for people to utilize. We'll put in a nice single vanity, and
I love the accent on the ceiling.
yeah, isn't that a great ceiling? So textured ceilings are common where we're at in Tennessee, and I'm not a huge fan of textured ceilings, to be candid with you. Part of the issue there is if you do have an issue, you can't patch textured ceilings, so it always looks terrible. Some of these, because it was an older house, had been really poorly patched. So we said from a cost standpoint to start with, hanging new drywall, mudding it, preparing it, painting it takes longer and it's more expensive. We were able to buy a pallet of this wood less expensive than it was to do all of those things. And we end up with a super cool finish when we're done with that. So we try to be very creative. We try to maintain the budget and get a really beautiful place for people to be without it being super expensive. And that's one of the ways we did it. So that's the same ceiling in the living room and then also in the other bedrooms. This particular house, we had to do a lot of drywall work. Now, this house, this hallway was not that long. That last opening, we cut into it.
That one back there?
Okay. Yeah, so that we could have access to the back bathroom.
Oh.
And it will create a space for people to access that bathroom. So we have a bedroom here.
Bedroom here.
Yep.
And
bedroom there.
Here.
That bedroom, the big one, will be split in half. So we will get 2 bedrooms out of that big one. We created this closet space. We had this sort of, what do you do with this space, right? We needed a place for maintenance supplies and paper towels and things like that. So we were going to go ahead and build this closet out, and we can keep the electrical panel behind another door.
And this is one that will not be accessed to the public.
Well, we talk about that. You know, it depends on how you operate your house. If you're close for maintenance calls, something needs to be done electrically. If you're close or you have an electrician who can respond quickly, then fine. But on occasion, people need, if they trip a breaker, as an example, they may need to get to that breaker to turn it back on. So it depends on how you want to operate your house. In this case, because we are close, we probably will not give access to this. But we'll have houses that we aren't going to be as close to. So we'll figure that out house by house. But generally, we don't want people to, like an Airbnb, we don't want people to access the mechanicals.
Sure.
It's like the furnace is up in the attic. That's very common in Tennessee houses where we don't want people to access the mechanicals.
Sure.
It's like the furnace is up in the attic. That's very common in Tennessee houses where we don't have a heat pump. The furnace is up in the attic. It also saves space that way. And then this is the bathroom that we opened up. We use the same tile. So we got a really good deal on this tile, and we're using the same tile throughout.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's a great tile.
You did the same ceiling.
Same ceiling. Same
and the same
color.
trick of the trim color.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that because I walk into the room and that's the first place that my eye goes is out that window.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, you probably will want some covering over your windows, but nonetheless, like even just a sheer for privacy, and you just feel like you're drawing the outside in.
Well, to be candid with you, I mean, this is second story.
Yeah.
So unless somebody's on a ladder, they're not really going to come in here. This one you can maybe see, but people driving by, I don't think they're going to see much. So we can put a film on this lower portion of it, and then we maintain the sunlight that's in here, and we get a little more privacy.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then here's walking back through that long hallway to take you back to the kitchen area.
Yep. So now we're going to head downstairs. We like a 2-story for co-living conversion. It helps with a couple of different things. We can meet occupancy requirements that way. Is by definition, it is 2 separate units. So once this
talk
gets
me
done,
through that just a little bit. What does that mean?
So you'll find that in some areas you have a maximum number of unrelated people who can live in the same house. Okay. That by definition, if it's a duplex, then that's 2 separate houses. So we're going to have 8 bedrooms here. It's separated out. That's our goal, is to get 8 to 10 bedrooms, depending on the municipality, where it's located, etc. And the separation of the 2 floors allows us to create a duplex situation. And so we do 4 and 4 usually.
That's really
This one's
cool.
set up a little differently.
And how are you able to create it or make it a duplex without a big to-do?
We had a kitchenette in the second unit. That also helps, like in the morning, if you have multiple people getting ready, you have 2 separate coffee stations.
Oh.
So we created
the important part.
The important part. Get your coffee in the morning, right? There's 2 microwaves. There's 2 refrigerators. There's 2 spaces for people to operate in. And so we don't have people tripping over each other and concerns about, I'm getting ready for, work and people are in my way. So this house happened to be already set up that way. So we're just replacing the old kitchen that was here. But we're doing that in other conversions as well, as we're making sure there's a kitchenette downstairs with at least coffee and microwave.
Very nice.
Yeah. So this is where the laundry will be. And then this is a big house. So we've got a space here that is by definition unused. So we're going to build lockers down here. And then housemates can rent lockers if they have more stuff that they want to store outside of their bedroom and not clutter up the bedroom.
Will you make that part of their rent, or will that be an upcharge?
It's an upcharge. Yep.
Super cool.
Yep. So this space down here, this is where the kitchen will go. We're going to have a really basic straight run kitchen. Again, we'll have a couple of pantries down here, and this will give them that second kitchen a second space to access.
Nice.
Full bathroom down here. So this one's still got a little ways to go in the renovation. And then this space, sorry?
No.
So we've got painting going on in this space as well. This is another gathering space. So we're going to put beanbag chairs and another card table or a games table. That'll give people another place to gather. So when we have these people in this house, we want them to have a comfortable space to be and not always be in their bedrooms if they don't want to be.
That is such a fun idea, to take something that's already there, and how do you repurpose it without either tearing it out or making it a big construction project? Just how do you simply repurpose what is there if you're able to?
Yeah.
And so those are all like concrete blocks.
Yep.
So super easy to throw some cushions down and make it just easy gathering.
Yeah.
I love it.
Reading space. Yeah. It can serve a lot of purposes. So this will become another bedroom eventually, not right away. This one will have an exterior exit. So that's appealing sometimes for co-living, because people they can come in, come directly into their own space. So this bedroom and that one just above it will both have their own entrances. Will that be a difference in the price of rent? It can be, depending on the nature of the house and the area it's in, because it makes it closer to a studio at that point in time, or even a 1-bedroom. We try to be below market rent on a studio. And when we're doing it, we're fully furnished, and not fully furnished, but we provide bed, desk, side table, chair, things like that. And then utilities are included as well. So they're paying every Friday a weekly rent, and that includes all of the utilities. So whereas an apartment, you usually have to pay not only the apartment rent, but you'll have a utilities. So you'll have your water, your electric, your internet, etc. And it's an unfurnished space.
Yeah.
They can come in basically with their clothes and come in and sit in. We've
That's
even got linens
fantastic.
here. They'll have dishes in the kitchen. We'll have cooking stuff in the kitchen, etc. Watch out for the sprayer.
And there is more. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. There is still more.
There's another bedroom back here. Now, this being a lower level, we had to do some other work to it. We're going to be replacing these windows. I don't like how they are. I think that they're probably, they've lost the seal on them, so they're not going to be energy efficient and they'll condensate. So we're going to invest in replacing these windows. They just have to get ordered and put in. We haven't quite gotten that far in the project. But this is the space that we're building out. And this is our first co-living project here in Tennessee. We should be launched in June. So we should be up and running looking for housemates in June. When I say housemates, these are people that are, they are renting a space, but we like to consider them part of our lily pad family in that they aren't just a number or a rental income. These are people that need affordable housing. They need a space to be. And oftentimes what we're seeing especially in younger generations, there's a need for building community. It's very hard for them to connect with people. So we have university here, we have Tennessee Tech, and so we have people that can come from the university. There's an opportunity to build community there. But even young individuals, young professionals, people that are single, that don't want to live in an apartment all by themselves, or maybe they can't afford it. You know, it's not uncommon for you need to qualify with 2.5 months or 2.5 times income, and you need, you know, first month's rent, security deposit, last month's rent. And then you got to buy your furniture. So you could need $3,000 to $5,000 to get into an apartment. Whereas here we charge a flat rate security deposit, $500, depending on the house, $500 to $1,000. And this is to make sure that, you know, if there's some damage to the room, we can have it repaired once they move out. But we want this a more affordable move-in. And that's part of how we make this more affordable, is they're going to come in with furniture. They don't have to worry about that. They're going to come in with a much less expensive starting point. And with it being a payment every Friday, there isn't a worry about budgeting like there is if you have to like hold your money until the first of the month. And then everybody knows when Friday is. They just do. They know when Friday is. So it makes it easier to remember, oh, I got to pay my rent on Friday. And then it's a $200 rent payment or a $250. And then they don't have to worry about missing the electric bill or forgetting to take the water bill or forgetting to pay the internet, or, you know, the router goes out and they have to buy a new router. There's all kinds of ways that life on your own becomes more expensive.
Sure.
Yeah. So this particular house is set up for singles, individuals. We will have some houses we're talking about for couples, and then we're looking at houses for military and maybe even disabled veterans. So that's our future trajectory here in Tennessee, is those kinds of
things. This is fantastic. So you've talked to us about the project. You've talked to us about what co-living looks like. You have talked to us about who this might be a right fit for.
Yeah.
Why in the world would everybody not do this?
Well, it's a non-traditional type of real estate investing. So most real estate investors understand apartments, multifamily. They understand single family rental. They understand fix and flip. It isn't necessarily in the top of mind for most real estate investors. The other thing is that it is more maintenance and more effort. But there's a return on investment for that effort. So we're going to have, let's just say, 8 individuals with their housemate agreements here, which means 8 personalities to manage. Right?
I think you just lost about half the people right there.
There's a way to mitigate that, and that happens in the pre-screening and some of the upfront work to create the culture of the house that you're filling. So we need to interview and screen people so that we try to make sure that they are fit for a culture that we're creating in these environments.
Yeah.
Okay. The ROI on that effort, however, is that let's just take a single family home or an apartment for that matter. You have one income paying for that space. In this case, we have 8 incomes paying for the space. Our break even is usually 4.5 to 5.
Oh, wow.
So if we have 3 rooms empty, we're still paying the bills. There's nothing coming out of pocket. What we do on the front end is we set up a marketing funnel that if someone decides to move, then we have somebody we have a group of people we can go and say, hey, we have a room available. Are you ready? We can get them moved in quickly. Finalize the screening process, get them in. People might say, well, there's probably a lot of turnover. And turnover is part of it. We usually do a 3-month minimum lease. Sometimes it's 6 months, depending on the market. So there is a little more turnover, if you will. However, that turnover is mitigated by the fact that you still have 7 rooms that are renting. You're still making money. And we pre-screen. We have a funnel of wait list of people ready to come in. So our turnover is quick. We don't have to wait. You aren't turning over a whole house. So from a cost perspective, you know, if you're turning over a single family rental and you need to go in and paint the whole house.
Yeah.
You lose at least 1 month's rent, and then you have the cost of maintenance to paint. Whereas in this case, we have 1 room. So we clean it. We maybe have to paint 1 wall. Maybe a lamp got broken, so we replaced the lamp, $25 on Amazon. And we have a very quick turnover and a less expensive turnover. And we aren't having months where we don't have the bills covered.
That's a really fantastic model, it seems like. So for anybody who might be watching, if they say, okay, I've never considered this, what would it look like if I have an underperforming Airbnb or a single family rental and I want to consider what this could look like to convert mine to co-living? How would they reach out to you and just start the conversation? I know there's some fantastic groups that teach this, that coach this, but how could they connect with you?
They can find me through social media here on TikTok. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, Julianna Sauber. And my number is available there. You can call or text me. Be happy to talk with you about the property itself. If it's in Tennessee, we can help with conversion. We can even help with management. Because the management is different. The marketing is different. And that's one of the big things is part of the reason why people need to be careful about co-living is they get excited about it, right? They go, I'm going to do co-living. And so super excited. And they get their house and they go, okay. And they have no idea how to market it because the marketing is different.
It is. It totally is.
Yeah. It's not as though you go to a standard property manager and they put it on Zillow and then they wait for an application.
Or they do.
Or they do, which is how most of them happen, right? So we're putting them out on multiple platforms that are specific to co-living, specific to 1-room rental. And then we are handling the screening process and getting people through. You want to try to, well, here's an example. If you have an Airbnb, let's say it's a 5-bedroom and you've got 4 bathrooms.
Sure.
You've got all these spaces available. You can rent by the bedroom and you can have shared bathrooms or you can have private bathrooms. You charge more for the private bathrooms.
Gotcha.
If you've already got furniture in it because it's an Airbnb, what I might recommend is if you have expensive furniture or you have breakable stuff that gets moved out and you kind of minimize your furniture. No televisions. We don't put any TVs up. We allow them in the room.
Wait. You're telling me that you have a house of 8 to 10 people, 8 to 10 rooms, and you're not putting TVs in it?
No.
Please tell me more.
So most people nowadays have phones, iPads, computers, laptops, all kinds of other things.
Yeah.
That they stream whatever they want to watch on it. TVs in common areas create potential conflict. So, as an example, I mentioned we're in Tennessee.
Yeah.
If Tennessee's on one channel and Alabama's on another channel, right?
Now you're trying to start a fight.
Now we got to fight, right? Like I want to watch Tennessee, no, I want to watch, or North Carolina, or
sure.
So we don't want to create conflict. Somebody might lounge in the living room for 4 hours and binge watch Yellowstone, and then everybody's mad because nobody else can use the television.
Wait, what's the problem with that?
Right? It's a good show, 1883, 1928. But the control of that central space, if somebody wants to stay and lounge for a long period of time, becomes a conflict.
Understand.
So that's why we put games out. They can come and play cards. They can hang out. But if they want TVs, they can do them in their rooms. And we'll even offer a rent to own kind of TV situation. If, like I said, they might be coming without a whole lot of money. They may not even have any of that. All they have is their cell phone. So we can do a rent to own on a television as well if they want to, but it's in their room.
Oh, I do love that. Something that I wouldn't have considered before these conversations. I love that so much. So what else do you have for us?
Well, I think co-living as a strategy is good for most real estate investments, not all.
Oh.
So
what are your, I don't know, what would you say were maybe the top 3 in your mind of why somebody would not? I know you've already covered marketing, so what are a couple of others of reasons why they may not be a good fit for this model?
Well, if they've got a house that maybe doesn't have enough space in it, the rooms are too small. The location is a challenge.
Can I ask you about that?
Yeah.
So I noticed one of your guys walking through and he's painting. What are the heights of your ceilings in here? Does that matter in a bottom floor?
Well, I would have liked these to be a little bit taller, but this house was still a great opportunity. So yes, I can reach the ceilings.
Was this already here or did you do this?
This was existing.
I got it.
Yeah. So we are updating what was a paneled, yucky drywall. Yeah, it was gross. I mean, if you walked down here, you would be like, who's going to stay down here?
Furry carpet and all, huh?
Oh, it was bad. It was really old brown cabinets and evidence of water, stuff like that. So not all houses are suited for it. Location makes a difference. Now, I'll use Sevierville as an example. Lots of Airbnbs in Sevierville are struggling because there isn't as much demand for rentals. But there's still a lot of people working there. Maybe they're servers at restaurants or they work at jobs that pay less than $10 an hour. Finding housing is a real issue.
Sure.
And so could you create housing for the workforce there and offer them a really clean, safe, affordable house?
That's really great.
So that's an opportunity to make that asset, which may or may not be cash flowing, may or may not be covering its bills, and make it something that is cash flowing. And I'm talking 40 to 60% uplift on your revenue, sometimes higher.
Wow.
So I've seen co-livings where minimum after all expenses, because the expenses are higher in a co-living, because you're paying all the utilities, you're paying for mowing, you're doing all that kind of thing.
Oh.
So the expenses are higher on a co-living, not necessarily against an apartment complex because it's about on par, but it's higher than a single family rental. So for that expense increase, we have an increase in revenue. So if you can rent a bedroom for say $800 a month and you have 8 in there, it's $6,400 a month. Whatever your mortgage is, take off the mortgage, interest, taxes. You do want a specific type of insurance. That's liability insurance for co-living. That's important. So it isn't just your building coverage, but your people coverage.
Such great information.
Yeah.
Something that most wouldn't even consider, even in the rental space. Because if you have a home that's already existing, like this property, it was a single family home, but 2 separate floors. But because you're converting this to a co-living model, that requires different operations altogether.
It does. It really does. But at the end, even at $6,400, if my expenses are 50%, that's still $3,200 at the end of the month.
Of the month. Can you say that a little louder for the people?
$3,200 at the end of the month.
So not something you would see from a single family rental.
Not at all.
And is that one of the reasons that we're seeing more people try to step into this space?
I do think that's it. I think it's a high revenue cash flow opportunity. If somebody has money to put in, flips are, we've done lots of flips. And this by definition could be called a flip. It's the BRRRR strategy, but instead of going to a single family rental, because it is so big, this would rent for maybe $2,500 a month. But I'm going to get I'm going to get a little over $7,000 out of it per month. And then we're going to take all of our expenses off. A little bit bigger property, so I got a little more mowing expense. I've got pest expense. I've got, all the utilities, etc. But we are going to cash flow probably a little over $3,000 a month after all said and done on this particular property. This one happens to have acreage on it, so we're going to build some new here as well.
Wow.
Which new construction co-living, we should go into that. It's a big conversation, but it is also an excellent way to put cash into and pull and get really nice cash flow and nice equity appreciation
on the same property.
Yeah, we're seeing 30% cash on cash returns on co-living properties.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean 12% is common,
Yeah.
20% is great. We're seeing 25 to 40.
Wow.
Depending on the property. So that cash on cash return is huge.
Okay, so you're starting to convince me that maybe most need to consider this model. What's another pitfall that maybe some don't consider? Jump in head first and then end up in the ditch, trying to come out of it after choosing co-living.
Well, their location is important. So if it's a rural location, if it's not near businesses, some of your folks might be walking or riding the bus. So way out of town, difficult to get to go, can be pretty challenging for a co-living option. I'm not saying it's not an option. We're a little ways out of town on this one. Why did I say it was okay? Because literally the next lot over is 30 townhouses. And then a mile down the road is a college extension training area. So I saw the opportunity here. But when we look at them and we look for new opportunities, we look in urban areas. We look in more densely populated areas. Now, here's the thing though.
Yeah.
We're about to do a co-living in the fall in Michigan. This is our friend's house. It's literally half a block from the elementary school. It's 3 blocks from downtown. It's a small town, but it's a perfect opportunity for co-living because it's walking distance to anything that is needed. They can get groceries, they can go out to dinner, they can go to the gas station, they can go to the liquor store, they can, whatever. The other thing about co-living is that it's not meant for couples necessarily, unless you design it specifically for that. And people have had success with couples where you have, say, a master suite and they have their own bathroom and their own space. That works sometimes.
I could see that.
There have to be rules around co-living. Here's the other piece of it that's different from a single family rental. When you do a single family rental, you hope you chose the right renters. You get them in there, right? They pay the bills, they keep the lawn up, they clean the place, and when they move out, you don't have a lot of repairs. Anybody that's done single family rentals will tell you that's not 100% of the time.
That sounds like a big gamble.
It is a big gamble. I mean,
Once they move out, you're rolling the dice and crossing your fingers and hoping for the best that they actually left it like you hoped.
Yes. So with co-living, we are doing regular walkthroughs. We are also cleaning the common areas at least once a month.
So there are really no surprises.
There are no surprises. We're going to do room glance inspections once a month or every 6 weeks. So we will notify everybody, hey, glance inspection's coming. We open the room, we make sure they're not keeping trash in the room or, it's not excessively dirty, that there's evidence of another person in there, which by the way, we don't allow overnight guests. That's not, because that creates problems.
Overnight guests?
Yeah.
Oh, that's different.
It is different.
So somebody's paying you to rent their space, but you're telling them they cannot bring guests over overnight.
That tends to cause issues among housemates. Particularly because overnight guests often turn into staying guests.
I could see that. So girlfriend comes over, boyfriend comes over, they hang out one night turns into a weekend. The weekend was super comfortable, so it turns into, we just didn't leave. Right. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I totally could.
Yeah. So it's something to think about with a single family rental versus converting to co-living is there is more management and rules and expectations are important.
It sounds like the vetting process of the property, the location, your incoming tenants, you as a either owner or manager is all super important before saying yes to co-living.
Yeah. And we can help with that. I mean, Co-living is something I've researched for 2 years. I am working with some of the biggest people in co-living in the industry to learn how to do this right. We are putting in place standard operating procedures. We're putting in place rules and expectations that'll carry across the houses. We're putting in mechanisms to maintain accountability. Because rules posted on the wall that are never enforced mean nothing.
So true.
But if we post a rule on the wall that says wash your dishes within 1 hour of cooking your food, we actually have a strategy to know who's not washing their dishes. So if they repeatedly don't wash their dishes, then we get a complaint from the housemates and we hold them accountable to it.
This sounds super interesting.
It is pretty fascinating. So there is a management piece of it, and we're working with some of the best operational managers in the country to make sure we're doing this and doing it well. Because that $3,200 a month relies on a well-run operation, houses that are managed well, and that there's harmony within the houses. That's huge, household harmony. And that we keep the rooms filled. And to keep the rooms filled, we have 2 big strategies. One is we have happy housemates. They don't have a reason to leave.
Yeah.
And we have a pipeline of people always ready to move in.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Hey, so curious, can we do this again?
Yeah.
How often can we do this?
How about we do this once a week?
I would love that so much.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's so much to talk about and so many different angles that we could chat about co-living or getting into it or how to transition maybe whatever properties folks might already have or they're saying, hey, I already have these properties, but I'm no longer in a place to market and manage because I want to scale my portfolio.
Right.
Like there's so many different angles that we can chat about this.
Absolutely.
I want to do it again.
Me too. And I want to make a point. It isn't just Tennessee, right?
No.
Co-living is sprouting up all over the country. So almost all markets have an opportunity for co-living. So that's one big thing that I want to mention. And it's not as easy as a single family rental. So when we talk about getting together on an every week basis, we're going to provide a lot of information that'll help people to decide if co-living is right for them. But if they say, you know what, I don't want to manage people and whatever, but I do want my money to work for me, then we are always looking for equity partners who can work with us. You see that we're getting the work done. We are on this, our strategies to scale, and so we're inviting people to come and join with us.
I'm so excited that you let us walk through today.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
We'll do it again because you guys want to see the progress, right? So we'll have flooring coming in next week. We'll probably have cabinets a couple weeks after that. And in the meantime, we'll be doing lots of conversations about co-living.
I love it. I love it. So we'll continue to follow you on your page and connect and look forward to the next.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay.
Yay.
I actually am not sure how to start yours.